Minami Lane is cozy and enchanting for sure, but is it worth playing? Everything you need to know about this charming street builder puzzle game is in this video. I was lucky enough to get early access to play this game, developed by a duo that, fun fact, actually share the same name. It's spelt differently, but it's pronounced the same, which I think is really fun. And this game is coming to Steam as of February 28th, 2024. It is very eye-catching because of the relaxing pastel color palette and the isometric point of view. I played through the game 2 times so far, and I will tell you everything you need to know to see if this game might be a fit for you. And as always, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. This game features, as I mentioned, a really nice pastel color palette that drew me in immediately. The game is played from an isometric point of view, not unlike The Sims, and the background music was very inviting as well. The game performed very well, and there was little to no bugs that I noticed both times I played through. I did actually report one thing that wasn't necessarily a bug, but I just don't think it was intended in level 1, and it prevented you from starting one of the days, and they fixed it right away. Other than that, everything was smooth sailing, and the game just truly is very good quality. The game is split into 5 levels, and each level you have to grow the street through making money from ramen and boba shops, and many more types of buildings in later levels, as well as keep the street clean and make it beautiful. The citizens put a big emphasis on the beauty of the street, so you will have to keep that in mind to keep them happy. The gameplay loop is very straightforward, but with enough choices to keep it interesting. You can build one building or attraction at the start of the round, and adjust your shops, including the prices and recipes for what you are selling. Then you will play out the day. You gain intel from the townspeople on how they are liking the shops and the street overall until they finally go into their homes at 8 p.m. when the day is over. You get a very detailed but easy to read summary, and then you can start making your plans for the next day. One thing I really loved about this game is that there was different speeds for the daily clock. So if you need a lot of information about that day, you can slow it down and even pause so you don't feel any time pressure. However, on days that you don't need to be as involved, you can just speed right through. This kept me engaged the entire time I played, which is important for me, especially with a shorter game. The entire game takes approximately 2 to 4 hours to play. One thing I will mention is that it's a good idea at the end of the day to pause your game around 7 o'clock, because sometimes there ends up being a lot of trash later in the day, and you want to make sure you have time to clean it up, as well as look for one of the everyday items that the tanuki is hiding under, because it does give you some extra gold. Most of the times it was pretty easy to find, but there was a few times where I definitely had to pause, zoom in on some buildings in order to find it, because it was just blended in very well. Overall, the difficulty, if you're really good at puzzles, won't be too challenging. And then if you're not so good at puzzles, I think it will challenge you quite a bit and really keep you on your toes throughout the whole game, and maybe even on future replays. So here's the list of things that I liked about the game. It was very fun and engaging start to finish. I loved the art, the music, and the colors they used. The levels definitely get more difficult, and the stakes feel raised as you progress. There are so many optional goals, settings, and features to slow down the pace to make it really cozy and relaxing. And finally, each level is very well thought out and keeps you busy and strategizing, since you do have to plan ahead in the level due to how many buildings you have to build or not build, or time constraints that require you to finish by a certain day to complete all the goals. So here are 2 things that I really feel I would have hoped for or changed in the game. I wish there were more levels, as some of the buildings you really only build in one level, and because they're so interesting, I found myself wanting more. I am just a greedy gamer, and this game has such good bones to it that I feel like this game could keep me busy for hours, and I could play like 20 levels in one sitting without getting sick of it. I think there could have been a few more variety of challenges, which honestly probably would have come with some more levels, but the 2 main things that you had to achieve is you maxed out at a certain number of buildings that you had to complete the goals by, or by a certain day. So it would be cool to see if there was some other kind of challenges that would make the variety even more. So this game is $4.99 on Steam, and if you are mostly concerned about just playing a fun and well done game, knowing that this game is about 2 to 4 hours, you could probably get 3 to 5 replays out of it for sure. I would say yes, get it. It is really well done. It's really enjoyable. And if that's all you're looking for, then go for it. You're not going to be disappointed, in my opinion. If you're somebody that wants to get way more hours out of a game, which is totally fair because sometimes that's me too, you might want to think about this one a little bit more, because while it is really fun, sometimes, you might be able to get a game for $5 or $10 on Steam, especially when there's Steam sales, that you can play for 10 or 20 hours. So in that regard, if you are just looking for like total price that you're going to spend throughout the year, maybe you would skip this one, but truly I do recommend it. I had a blast playing it, and I think you will too. This was my first game review where I actually was given a game key to play it early, so let me know if there's anything else that you would have liked me to talk about when reviewing the game, and I'll make sure to include that in future videos.